everyone, and welcome to the next video in my series I'm doing on Can I Improve My Makes? If you watched episode 1, you would have seen that I needle felted a black Labrador, so I want to see if I can improve on that. So this episode is going to be on Hunter the Husky, which is a World of Wool kit. I purchased this kit off Facebook Marketplace for £5, which I thought was an absolute bargain. It has been sat in my storage bin since last year, so I thought this would be perfect to make for the second episode in my series. So on opening the box, you get given the instructions, black carded wool for the top coat, carded white wool which will be the core wool for making the dog as well as being used as the top coat, a smaller amount of grey and pink wool which I assume will be for the ears and paws, 3 pieces of wire to make the armature. I have used this wire before in one of their kits and I didn't find it that strong or sturdy, so I think I will swap this wire for my own. And the last wool colours are this orange and blue for the eyes. You also get a big foam felting mat to make your dog on and 3 needles. I did end up swapping the needles for my own ones as I find they are easier to felt with. As I'm using my own wire, I had to measure and cut them to the correct size. If you use the wire in the kit, it already comes pre-cut to the size you need. Then using the instructions in the booklet, it's time to make the armature. I also use pipe cleaners where the legs attach to the body just to make it as strong as possible and so they won't move around. Then it's time to use core wool to wrap around the wire armature. This is always quite a fiddly part of the process as you have to be careful not to hit your needle on the wire. Here I am starting to build up the body a bit before moving on to thinly wrapping the legs, tail and head so that all the wire is covered. I've worked on him a bit off camera as this video would be far too long otherwise. I've just been building up the body, using the pictures in the instructions as a guide as well as pictures of huskies I found online. I'm now working on my least favourite part, which is the paws. I always find that I make them too big, so this is something I definitely need to work on. So again, I've done a bit more off camera. I've added the ears, which look far too big here. I do felt them down to make them a bit smaller later on, and I've also added the eyes and nose. I'm not a fan of felting eyes and noses as I can never get them to look realistic enough. I would normally use plastic or glass eyes to make my noses out of clay, but it's good to practice making them out of wool, and I wanted to stick to what the kit said to do. I'm on to my favourite part now, which is adding the top coat. I find this is where your dog really starts to come to life, and you can identify the breed of the dog by its distinctive markings. Here I am just roughly adding some black wool where I want the markings to be. I then use a reverse needle which didn't come with the kit. This just helps to blend the harsh lines created from the contrasting colours. It's also great for creating a fluffier effect, especially around the neck area, as huskies tend to have quite thick, fluffy necks. I'm now adding a bit more detailing to the nose to try and replicate the one in the photo. Again, this is something I need to work on to get it to look more realistic. I worked on him for a bit longer off camera doing the final finishing touches, and this is the end result. I'm pleased with the proportions on this make. I feel like I have gotten the anatomy of the breed better than when I made my Labrador, and you can recognise that it's a Husky by the breed's physical characteristics. As I mentioned before, I'm not a fan of felted eyes and noses. If you can do them well, then they look amazing and can look very realistic. I just struggle to achieve this, especially on a smaller scale. I do think mine would have looked more realistic had I used glass eyes and a clay nose, but it's good to keep practicing other techniques, and hopefully one day I will get better at making them out of wool. Overall though, I'm quite pleased with how he has turned out, and I definitely think he's an improvement from my first make in this series. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know what you think of him, and if you have done this kit too, leave a comment below to say how you got on with him. I will be back next month with the next episode in this series, and there will be another new video on my channel next Sunday, so I do hope you'll join me for that one too. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!